Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really uncovering something fascinating. It's a story about how a seemingly small operational step, well, it became a kind of hidden superpower for one team. We're talking about the Tampa Market Field team and their pre-install check program, and the sources we've got guiding us, they're pretty impressive. Detailed savings data, sharp performance analyses.
Yeah, and some really interesting projections, too, looking at what might be possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to really extract the lessons here. How can a proactive step prevent huge costs? How does it reveal top talent, show trends, and maybe even set a roadmap for success?
It's like a shortcut, really.
Yeah, a masterclass in preventing problems before they even start.
And what's so interesting, I think, is the core idea. It's simple but powerful. This pre-install check, basically. A field manager goes out and makes sure a job site's genuinely ready before you even schedule the main installer.
Go ahead.
If they find an issue, say it's not ready, they give an NOS signal. And that simple step, it saves about $100 right there, avoids a totally wasted installer visit.
$100 just like that.
Just like that. And but get this, the check itself takes maybe 5 minutes of the manager's time, costs about, $7 in labor?
Wow.
So the value, I mean, it's almost ridiculously clear, isn't it?
Yeah, the math is undeniable.
And it's not just the dollars either. Think about the goodwill. It shows customers, trade partners, hey, this company wants to get it right the first time. They're a good partner.
Right, building that trust factor. Okay, so let's unpack this then, the success story. What's the headline figure? Looking at the first 7 months, Jan through July, what kind of overall impact are we talking about for the Tampa team?
Okay, yeah, get ready for this one. The team, through these checks, has generated $378,000 in total savings.
$378,000.
That's right. And what that actually means is they stopped 3,780 failed installation attempts.
Wow.
Think about that. Nearly 4,000 times an installer didn't drive out to a site that wasn't ready. Imagine the frustration saved, the wasted time avoided.
That's incredible.
And if you look at the return on investment, the ROI, it's kind of staggering. For every single dollar they spend doing these quick checks, the company saves almost $15. It's $14.29 to be exact.
$14 back for every $1 spent.
Yeah, it's like doing a quick, cheap oil change that prevents your whole engine from seizing up later. It's smart. It's efficient ops.
That's the kind of ROI anyone would dream of. But I wonder, are there any potential downsides? Like, could these checks maybe slow things down initially, put extra pressure on the managers?
That's a really good point to bring up. And the key is definitely balance, right? These checks, they're designed to be super quick, 5 minutes, so they don't really gum up the scheduling works. The aim isn't delay, it's just, confirming readiness.
Okay.
And that pressure aspect you mentioned, that's exactly why looking at individual performance, providing support, why that's so important, which we'll get to. It's about making them proactive problem solvers, not just piling on tasks.
Right, empowering them. Okay, so speaking of the managers, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Who are the individuals really driving these savings? Who are the standout performers?
Yeah, when you dig into the individual data, some clear leaders emerge. Mark Afflerbach, he's consistently up there, pulled in nearly $50,000 in savings himself. That's averaging close to $7,000 a month.
Wow, Mark's really delivering.
Definitely. And right behind him, you've got Colombois with an impressive $42,000. And Ishii, she's at $38,000. Those three, plus Nigel Haywood and Kyle Horn, they're all contributing well over $30K each. They really form the core group of top performers.
Okay, so a strong top tier.
Yeah. And, it's worth remembering some folks, like Andrew Poring, were only active for part of the year, so their totals reflect that. But then you look at the other end, you see someone like Axel Hernandez with just $100 in total savings for the period.
Just $100. That's a huge contrast to Mark Afflerbach. What does that tell us? Is it just performance, or could it be territory, volume, maybe training?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it highlights why this kind of analysis is so useful. A number like Axel's, it signals dig deeper. It could be performance, sure, but maybe his area just doesn't have many not ready jobs, or maybe he needs more coaching on identifying those issues, or maybe he thinks jobs are ready when they aren't. It points you exactly where to investigate, you see, provide support, or maybe fix a systemic issue.
Got it. Using the data to ask the right questions. Okay, so let's zoom out again. Geographically, what about the different areas within Tampa? Are some regions just naturally more efficient or saving more?
Absolutely. There's a clear leader when you break it down by area. Tampa North, they're crushing it. They've contributed $127,700 in savings. That's over a third, 33.8% of the entire market's total.
Tampa North leading the way.
Clearly. They're showing real efficiency. Then you have Tampa South, also very strong. They're at $108,500, which is almost 29% of the total. And Sarasota's a big player too, $93,200. That's nearly a quarter of all the savings. And even Ocala, which is the smallest market here, it's still pulling its weight consistently. They brought in $48,600, about 13% of the total.
Interesting. So clear geographical hotspots for these savings.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch perspective again. Look at the timeline. The calendar. Over these 7 months, Jan to July, did the savings stay steady? Or were there like peaks and valleys? What drove those?
Oh, yeah, there's a very distinct pattern when you look month by month. The year kicked off incredibly strong. Q1 was huge. January led the way with $87,800 in savings.
$87,000 in just 1 month.
Right, and February was right behind it at $82,300. Just a really powerful start to the year.
Okay.
But then we saw a pretty noticeable dip in Q2. April hit the lowest point, $48,800. May was only a little better at $50,900.
Huh. Any idea why?
Yeah.
Seasonality, staffing.
It definitely raises questions, doesn't it? Was it maybe seasonal demand shifts, maybe focus dipped slightly?
Yeah.
Or, maybe staffing, or even the types of jobs changed during those months. The data makes you ask why that dip happened. But the good news is things picked back up. June and July showed a strong summer recovery. June brought in $63,600. And July was impressive, nearly matched those Q1 highs again at $85,500.
Okay, back on track in July. That's promising.
Yeah, and that July momentum, it's really key when we start thinking about projections for the rest of the year.
Okay, so connecting these overall ups and downs to the individuals. What stands out there? Did anyone buck the trend?
Yeah, this is where you see some really interesting stories within the bigger picture. Take Josh Hernandez down in Sarasota. His performance, it just went vertical. He went from only $700 in savings back in February to an incredible $8,700 in July.
Wow, from $700 to almost $9,000.
Yeah, that's like what, an 43% increase? It's amazing. It shows someone really figured something out, adapted fast.
So what's his secret?
Exactly. We need to figure out what Jetty did differently. Can we replicate that? His success could be a blueprint.
Makes sense.
But then you look at the flip side, Mark Afflerbach. Remember, he's a top overall performer.
Yeah, leading the pack overall.
Right. But his monthly trend went the other way. He peaked at $15,700 way back in February. But by July, he was down to $3,300.
A nearly 80% drop, even for a top guy.
Exactly. A 79% drop. It's a critical reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even your stars need ongoing support, maybe different motivation to stay consistent. Past success isn't automatic.
That's a really important point. Anyone else show interesting trends?
Well, Heather Porter also showed a kind of steady decline. But then you had guys like Philip Arana, Bill Nolan, Stephen Fedoric. They were remarkably steady, month in, month out, just consistent performers regardless of the overall swings.
The steady engine.
Exactly. And we also saw Andrew Poring, who, as I mentioned, was only active in Q1.
Got it. So with all this data, the monthly swings, the individual stories, the regional strengths, what's the outlook for the rest of 2025? Can they keep this going, especially that July momentum?
Yeah, looking ahead, based on that strong recovery, particularly the last 3 months, the realistic projection for total savings for the full year, we're looking at $728,000.
$728,000. So almost doubling the first 7 months.
Pretty much. That assumes they can keep up a solid, $70,000 average monthly savings for these last 5 months.
Okay, that's the realistic view. Any other projections?
Well, yeah, you can model it different ways. If you want to be a bit more conservative, maybe average the slightly lower performance of the last 3 months, say $66,667 a month. Then you land around $711,335 for the year.
Still over $700K.
Still very strong. But if that July momentum, that $85K a month, really signals a new baseline, and they average maybe $75,000 a month going forward, then the optimistic view pushes towards $753,000.
Okay, so significant potential there between $711K and $753K.
Definitely. The potential to more than double what they've already achieved is absolutely there.
Now, you mentioned efficiency metrics earlier. Beyond the direct $100 savings per avoided trip, were there other knock-on benefits?
Absolutely. And this is a layer that often gets missed, but it's critical for operational efficiency. We're talking about order entry time savings, OE time.
Order entry time. Explain that a bit.
Sure. It's basically the admin time, the time your back office staff spends processing install requests, scheduling, rescheduling if things go wrong, all that admin work.
Gotcha.
So these pre-install checks, they didn't just save money out in the field, they also saved an incredible 47,800 minutes in that OE admin time over the 7 months.
47,000 minutes. How much time is that, really?
It translates to almost 800 hours, 796.7 hours to be precise, of just admin labor saved.
Wow.
And if you value that labor, say, roughly, it adds up to another $5,578 in value just from making the office run smoother.
So it's a double win.
Exactly. Preventing field problems and streamlining the office work. On average, that's about 6,800 minutes saved each month. And they did it by performing around 540 checks monthly.
Incredible efficiency gains all around.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The big picture, the individuals, the regions, the timing, the future. What are the main takeaways here? If someone listening wants to apply these kinds of proactive ideas, what should they be thinking about?
Yeah, this deep dive really shines a light on some key actions and strategies. For immediate stuff, you absolutely have to figure out why Mark Afflerbach's numbers drop so much. Burnout, territory change, something else. Understanding that is key to keeping all top performers engaged.
Right.
And conversely, you need to bottle up whatever Josh Hernandez did. How did he achieve that massive growth? Was it a process? Communication? Scale? That secret sauce?
Find the blueprint?
Find the blueprint, and obviously re-engaging the less active managers like Andrew Poring or Mark Kempton. That's low-hanging fruit for more savings.
Makes sense. What about bigger picture strategy?
Strategically, well, first, keep Tampa North doing what they're doing. They're the benchmark. Learn from them. For Ocala, the smallest market, it's contributing consistently, which suggests real potential. Maybe adding resources there, another manager perhaps could significantly boost their share. It's not just about numbers, but smart allocation. And crucially, systematize it. Take the best practices from Mark, Colin, Isha, Josh. Spread them everywhere and set clear minimums. Maybe expect, say, $3,000 in savings per manager per month as a baseline. Create that expectation.
Setting clear goals.
Exactly. And for the rest of 2025, the goals seem clear. Hit that $70,000 average monthly savings target. Try to boost Ocala's contribution, maybe from that 13% up to 15%. Keep manager participation super high, like 95% plus. And aim for over 600 checks across the market every month. It's ambitious, but the data shows it's possible.
It really lays out a clear path forward. So this deep dive, it really has shown the immense power hiding in plain sight, hasn't it? These pre-installed checks, they seem small, but wow, hundreds of thousands in savings, thousands of failures prevented, and building that customer trust, that operational excellence. It really is a masterclass.
It really is a powerful testament, I think, to how those consistent, focused, maybe even small efforts can yield just massive returns on multiple fronts: efficiency, reliability. The data truly speaks for itself here.
Absolutely. And that brings us to our final thought for you, our listeners. We've just heard about the incredible impact of these simple pre-install checks. So the question for you is, what specific, maybe seemingly small, proactive steps in your world, your business, your projects, maybe even just your daily life, what might yield a significant return that you're maybe overlooking right now? Where could your ounce of prevention be worth that pound of cure? Something to think about.